Chapter 44. February of 2010, my debts were paid off in full, and I started taking driving lessons. With my fear of escape identified, I could get into a car again without too much trouble. I still had a severe case of arachnophobia. I think I always will. When I see spiders, I can still feel them on me. During panic attacks, I can't get them off. The smallest image, a black circle with 8 lines drawn into it, it's enough to trigger a minor panic attack, which I can handle and calm myself out of. My worst attacks send me into full hysterics, crying, rocking, hugging myself while I brush the spiders that aren't there off of me. I am more afraid of baby spiders than the big ones. In fact, the smaller they are, the more scared I am. Even in telling you this, I feel them on me, and I'm brushing my arms to get them off. My relationship with Hosea was forever shaky after the incident with David. We had a severe lack of trust in the other. He had abandonment issues. I had everything else. We both had separation anxiety. Naturally, the best cure for this was marriage, and in 2012, Hosea proposed. At that time, Tribble was 14 years old, and a bout of bad breath and excessive drool led me to think she had a bad tooth. I stopped. William furrowed his brow while I sat remembering. Within seconds, 2 years of memories flashed from one image to the next. I felt my sanity slipping. I felt my mind pull away from me, and just as I broke, the kitchen and William slipped away. The Irish sky was blue today, and the wind was unforgivable. It whipped my skirts about my legs. I walked along the edges of the cliff of Moher, and as I walked, Ian sang, "Tip and up the level plains, bring them up and o'er again, sink them down and bring them up, don't forget to raise your cup." I followed the singing across the field and came to stand at the edge where dozens of buckets sat filled to the brim with the silver liquid. There at the edge of the cliff, Ian and Eric dropped a bucket suspended by a long rope over the cliff. As they fed the rope, Ian sang, "Tip and up the level plains, bring them up and o'er again, sink them down, bring them up, don't forget to raise your cup." "What are you doing there, boys?" I asked, holding my hair back from the wind. "We're gathering buckets of insanity," Ian heaved. "We're bringing it up over to this side." They hoisted the bucket brimming with the silver liquid, and I watched them pour the insanity into one of the empty buckets on the ground. "Some of the best stuff comes from this side," he said. Once their bucket was empty, they lowered it over the side of the cliff again. Ian commenced with his song, "Tip and top the level plains, bring them up and o'er again, sing them up, bring them up, don't forget to raise your cup." "Elizabeth?" I looked, and William seated in front of me at the kitchen table. I could still hear Erin's song. "Hmm?" I said. "Elizabeth?" William asked again. "Tip and top the level plains, bring them up and o'er again." I closed my eyes and shook my head. "It's so hard," I whispered. "What's hard?" William asked. "Sink them down, bring them up, don't forget to raise your cup." "Staying on this side," I said. "Which side, Elizabeth?" William asked. "Tip and top the level plains, bring them up and o'er again." "You don't see them?" I asked. "See what?" William asked. "You can't hear." "Sink them down, bring them up, don't forget to raise your cup." William shook his head. "Ian and Eric," I said. "They're bailing buckets of insanity from the cliffs of Moher. They say some of the best stuff comes from that side." I saw the worry in William's eyes, and I wondered why. "What side, Elizabeth?" "Tip and top the level plains, bring them up and o'er again." "The side of insanity. It's just over the cliff there," I said. "Sink them down, bring them up, don't forget to raise your cup." "And Ian's singing," I whispered. "You can't hear it?" "No, Elizabeth," William said. "I can't hear it. It's so hard staying in this room." I pinched the bridge of my nose. "Elizabeth?" William asked. "Do you have a doctor?" "No," I said. "Doctors only want to sell you meds, and besides, look at all the buckets of insanity that Ian and Eric just bailed up for me." "Elizabeth," William said, "where is Tribble?" I whispered. "Blackened blood drips down the mind. Where death should be, there's life. Broken, cracked, it bleeds the psyche. Like death life feeds the light." "Elizabeth," William said patiently, "where is Tribble?" "Tribble," I gasped. "She had mouth cancer. I took her to the doctor and they told me she had mouth cancer. They gave her a shot of cortisone that shut down her immune system. She was allergic to her own immune system, and the cancer was provoking her immune system. So the cortisone shut it down and increased her cancer. But she lived with it for 2 years. She was fine. But it came back, and the cancer had spread. I watched it eat out her mouth. It ate her teeth and twisted her jaw. She burned for me every day. She sat with me when I ate. She sat beside me. She held on for me. She wouldn't let me go. I looked at Ian, who stood by my side. She loved me with those eyes. And I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell if she was hurt because she always purred. I had to kill her. I took her to the vet and they gave her a shot. I held her as she died and I cried. I cried and she wasn't there. She was always there. For 17 years she was there. Always there. She hasn't been right in the head since, boy, Ian said. She's messed up. That cat kept her grounded. She used Tribble to pull her back, and now that she's gone, there's no reason to come back now, is there? Ian! Shut up, Ian! You talk too much! I growled. That's when you started slipping, Ian said to me. It's when I showed up. And Eric came back, isn't that right? I gave Ian a dirty look he promptly ignored. What she isn't telling you is that was June of 2014, Ian continued. That's when she shut everything off. But you won't write about any of that in this book, will you? No, you can't hear me, can you? Because I'm not real, Elizabeth. I'm only in your head, not his. Shut up, Ian! You fucking prick! When did you get Pat's book? Ian said. How long after Tribble died? 4 months? Was it 4 months? No, it was 6 months later. You launched your world of social media in October 2014 and found everyone, didn't you? You found Pat and Jacob. You found Raven. Shut the fuck up about Raven. Who's Raven, Elizabeth? William asked. But already you were slipping, Ian said, ignoring William. You were slipping. You're still grieving her, still holding out. You're still waiting for Tribble to pick you up off the floor. Where is she? She's dead, I said. Where the shadows whisper lies. You could have handled Pat's book if Tribble were here, but without her you can't. And now you're telling the story and talking to me, and Tribble isn't here to pull you back. How are you going to get back this time? I'm not going to pull you back. Is William? You've thrown all others away. Everyone else is gone. You're still in that wood in Ireland. I don't want to go, I said. Why should you? Where's Raven? Raven. A tear slipped from my eye. I don't want him to see this. Will he ground you? Raven can't. Can't he? Ian asked. Let him. At least wake up and tell the rest of your story. I miss Tribble, Ian. And I miss Raven so much. Elizabeth, William said. I looked across the table at the horrified look in William's eyes. I'm sorry, William, I said. Where were we? We were not yet, William, Ian said. She isn't ready. I can't talk, I said. I'm in the rabbit hole, and it's dark in here. I'm going for a walk. I need to clear my head. Don't let her alone, but don't let her go. Don't